Hare Krishna. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Hare Krishna. So we'll continue our discussion on first canto, 10th chapter. This is a very nice description. Actually, there is a separation from Krishna. This is a different rasa. They had Kunti Maharani, we had Bhishmadev. Now we'll see how does the women of Hastinapur they glorify the Lord. So we are seeing that Yudhishthir Maharaj made an elaborate arrangement for Krishna's departure. So he was going to Hastinapur, and then the women of Hastinapur they come to see Krishna. They climb the roofs, and when we see. And Uddhava Satyaki began to fan the Lord with decorated fans. The Lord, as the master of Madhu, seated on scattered flowers, commanded them along the road. And then we saw here there were heard the benedictions being paid to Krishna, which were neither befitting nor unbefitting because they were all for Absolute, who was now playing the part of human being. I will continue. So this is a very important verse. Maybe we have to by heart this verse. Anyonya asit sanjalpa uttama shloka chetasam kauravendra purastrinam sarvashruti manohara. He says, absorbed in the thoughts of the transcendental qualities of the Lord who is glorified in select poetry, the ladies on the roof of all the houses of Hastinapur began to talk to him. This talk was more attractive than the hymns of the Vedas. Auravendra Prostram. This is Sarvasruti Manohara. So their talk was more attractive than the hymns of Vedas. This is a very important thing for us to understand. Why it is much better than Vedas. So it can be, it should be Vedas who are learned scholars, Brahmanas, they are chanting. But here we see it is not the case. Here the glorification is actually what pleasing to Krishna. What is important is Lord is not just interested in the external formalities. Lord is interested in the devotion. Now, why these formalities are given then? Everybody can be glorified. Now, why there are Vedas? Why this glorification? Because for a human being, there is always this tendency of karma, jnana, and yoga. So this is very important for us to understand. That is the reason all the systems are there. If you take a modern society, there is Islam or Christianity, or you have Middle East countries, or you have European countries, or America. These are actually basically jnana and karma manifestation only. If you understand the root, then we will be able to clearly see what is the problem and how it manifests. These are jnana and yoga tendencies only. Sorry, karma and jnana tendencies. So this is very clear understanding of all these things. That is the reason these systems are given, because that type of living entities are there who will be interested in such things. So this arrangement is made for them. And but Lord is not so much. So karma, jnana, and upasana. Lord is more interested in upasana. Living entities are into karma and jnana. That's why now Prabhupada writing in the Bhagavad Gita, it is said that in all the Vedic literatures, the goal is the personality of God Sri Krishna. Actually, the glories of Lord are depicted in such literatures as Vedas, Ramayana, and Mahabharata. And in Bhagavatam, they are specifically mentioned in respect to the Supreme Lord. Therefore, while the ladies on the top of the houses in the capital of kings of the Kuru dynasty were talking about Lord, their talks were more pleasing than the Vedic hymns. Anything sung in the praise of the Lord is Shruti Mantra. These are songs of Thakur Narottam Das, one of the Acharya in the Gaudiya Sampradaya, composed in simple Bengal language. But Thakur Vishwanath Chakravarti, another very learned Acharya of the same Sampradaya, has approved the songs by Thakur Narottam Das as to be as good as Vedic mantras. And this is so because of the subject matter. The language is immaterial, but the subject matter is important. The ladies were all absorbed in the thought and action of the Lord, developed the consciousness of Vedic wisdom by the grace of the Lord. And therefore, although such ladies may not have been very learned scholars in Sanskrit otherwise, still, whatever they spoke was more attractive than Vedic hymns. The Vedic hymns in the Upanishads are sometimes indirectly directed to the Supreme Lord, but the talks of the ladies were directly spoken of the Lord, and thus they were more pleasing to the heart. The ladies' talks appear to be more valuable than the learned Brahmana's benediction. Now, if you see the Vedic mantras, they look very Sahasra Shirha Purusha Sahasraksha Sahasravad Sabhumin Vishwato Vatvaha Atyadishtasthrangulam Purusha Evedagam Sarvam. So when it looks very flowery and very gorgeous, but the meaning is very simple only. Oh, Lord is having this many heads. His feet are Shudras, his waist is Vaishyas, his arms are Kshatriyas, his face is Brahmanas. This is what is explained. If you translate it into local language, this is what will get the meaning. You say, oh, that's what. But because it is Sanskrit, we don't understand. It looks little like. Why Sanskrit? Na, it is always composed in a poetic form because that is how it is easy to learn and carry on, because we all need some music. If you see Vedic literatures, they are not, many of them, most of them are not composed as a prose. It is all poetry only. Why it is poetry? You can compose. Now, it is very easy to understand a book if you write like this. But Vedic literature are not like that. It is not like book. There are some, but not much. All the Puranas, if you take Vedas or Ramayana, Mahabharata, it's all poems only, one after another. One after another. Think why to work so hard to write a poem? You just write a story, and then it's done. Now all of them, they are taking so much endeavor to compose it in a poem form. Anushtup Chandaha, Gayatri Chanda. So there are chandas. So you have to compose in that meter, Gayatri meter or Anushtup Chanda meter, like that. So why so much? Because that is the way you can meditate. Like in India, we have this culture, many of them, they learn shlokas, even though they don't know meaning. And people like to hear also. In the houses also, they pray some Vedic mantras, and many of the children, they learn Bhagavad Gita shlokas and all. This is this is how the system is created. Sanskrit, this is a very scientific system to help people to memorize and go on with their life. And like it is easy also, like childhood only you make them memorize as shlokas, and when they grow, what happens is they will start meditating on the meaning. Initially, till age of 13, 14, they cannot understand meaning. Even you tell also, they'll hear, but does not make much further. But when they, after 13, 14, when they memorize, understand the meaning, then they will have some change in their life. Anyway, so even now, if you say they are Sarvaswati Manohara, but they are in Sanskrit only. Same meaning, but their meaning is much deeper. Means, what is the main difference in both are in Sanskrit only? The Striya of Hastinapur and the Vedic hymns, both are in Sanskrit. Language is same. Both have poetry. But what is the difference? That glorification is indirect glorification, whereas the glorification by the Stris of Hastinapur, ladies of Hastinapur, is direct glorification. That is the main difference. Savai kailyam purusha puratano ya eka asida vishesha atmani अग्रे गुणेभ्यो जगदामनीश्वरे निमीलितात्मान्निशि सुप्तसुप्तिषु शक्तिषु. It says, they said, So this is the prayers. Now we are seeing a different set of prayers. This is third prayers we are hearing. Here is the original personality of Godhead, as we definitely remember him. He alone existed before the manifested creation of the modes of nature, and in him only, because he is the Supreme Lord, all living beings merge as if sleeping at night, their energy suspended. So, which form they are glorifying? They are glorifying the Mahavishnu. But they are telling this is Mahavishnu only, like that. There are two types of dissolutions of the manifested cosmos. At the end of every 4,320,000,000 solar years, when Brahma, the Lord of one particular universe, goes to sleep, there is one annihilation. And the end of Brahma's life, which takes place at the end of Brahma's 100 years of age in our calculation, at the end of 8,640,000,000 into 30 into 12 into 100 solar years, there is a complete annihilation of the entire universe. That is uh, uh, 311 trillions 40 billion years. And in both the periods, both the material energy called the Mahatattva and marginal energy called Jivatattva merge in the person of the Supreme Lord. The living beings remain asleep within the body of Lord until there is another creation of the material world, and that is the way of creation, maintenance, and annihilation of the material manifestation. This is how this material world is. There is no option. The system is like that. You have to, everything is going to end up. The material creation is affected by the interactions of three modes of material nature set in action by the Lord, and therefore it is said here that the Lord existed before the modes of material nature were set in motion. In the Shruti mantra, it is said that only Vishnu, the Supreme Lord, existed before the creation, and there was no Brahma, Shiva, or other demigods. Vishnu means Mahavishnu, who is lying on the causal ocean. By his breathing only, all universes are generated in seeds and gradually develop into gigantic form within innumerable planets within each and every universe. The seeds of universes develop into gigantic forms in the way seeds of banyan tree develop into innumerable banyan trees. This Mahavishnu is the plenary portion of Lord Sri Krishna, who is mentioned in Brahma Samhita as follows. Let me offer my respectful obeisances unto the original personality of Lord Govinda, whose plenary portion is Mahavishnu. All the Brahma, the heads of the universes, live only for the person of his, only for the period of his exhalation after the universe is generated from the pores of his transcendental body. So this all is glorification of Mahavishnu. So when Sarva Shruti mantras also glorify Mahavishnu. But when Kaurvendapura Strina, when they tell to Krishna, they say, Arre, whom you are seeing? This is Mahavishnu only. So, but Krishna liked it so much because they are directly telling. So there is a difference. Thus, Govinda, Lord Krishna, is the cause of Mahavishnu also. The ladies talking about this Vedic truth must have heard it from authoritative sources. An authoritative source is the only means of knowing about transcendental subject matter definitely. There is no alternative. So this is there is some simplicity. Of course, they are sophisticated ladies because they are city ladies, but still they are simple compared to the Vedic Brahmanas. That is actually what is pleasing to the Lord. More simple, Lord likes more, and Vrindavan is the most simple place. How? If you go to some village and old villages, if some new guest come to your house, and all the village people will come and make a visit to see who is the new guest, and they will see, oh, they will directly talk and, oh, he's looking nice, he's this, he's this. So they are very simple, they don't mind, they'll come directly, see and talk and say, oh, what you do, how you are doing. All the villagers will make one because that is the simplicity. And here, what Lord is liking is simplicity. He's not liking the complicated glorification of the Vedas. The merging of living being into the body of Mahavishnu takes place automatically at the end of Brahma's 100 years. But does not mean that the individual living being loses his identity. The identity is there, and as soon as there is another creation by the supreme will of the Lord, all the sleeping, inactive living beings are again let loose to begin their activities in the continuation of past different spheres of life. It is called Suptotita Naya, or awakening from sleep and again engaging in one's respective continuous duty. When a man is asleep at night, he forgets himself, what he is, what his duty is, and everything of his waking state. But as soon as he awakens from slumber, he remembers all that he has to do and thus engage himself again in his prescribed activities. The living beings also remain merged in the body of Mahavishnu during the period of annihilation. But as soon as there is another creation, they rise to take up their unfinished work. This is also confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita. So the Lord existed before the creative energy and set in action. The Lord is not a product of material energy. The body is completely spiritual and there is no difference between his body and him. Before creation, the Lord remained in his abode, which is absolute and so we will. So then they say the personality of God is again desiring to give names and forms to his part and parcels, the living entities, place them under the guidance of material nature. By his own potency, material nature is empowered to recreate. This is another important point. He again desiring to give names and forms. Without that, no existence only. So Prabhupada writes a very nice purport for this. Yeah, big purport. The living entity are parts and parcels of the Lord. They are of two varieties, namely Nitya Mukta and Nitya Baddha. The Nitya Mukta are eternally liberated souls, and they are eternally engaged in the reciprocation of transcendental loving service with the Lord in his eternal abode beyond the manifested mundane creation. But the Nitya Baddha, or eternally conditioned souls, are entrusted to his external energy, Maya, for rectification of their rebellious attitude towards the Supreme Father. Nityabadhas are eternally forgetful of their relation with the Lord as part and parcels. They are bewildered by illusory energy as products of matter, and thus they are very busy in making plans in the material world for becoming happy. They go on merely with plans, but by the will of Lord, both the plan makers and plans are annihilated at the end of certain period, as above mentioned. This is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita as follows: O son of Kunti, at the end of millennium, all the living entities merge into my nature, and again, when the time of creation is ripe, I began creation by the agency of my external energy. So the word bhuya indicates again and again. It is to say the process of creation, maintenance, and annihilation is going on perpetually by the external energy of Lord. It is the cause of everything. But the living beings who are constitutionally part and parcel of the Lord and are forgetful of sweet relation are given a chance again and again to get rid of the clutches of external energy and to revive the living beings consciousness. The revealed scripture also created by the Lord. Vedic literature are the guiding directors for the conditions so that they can get free from repetition of creation and annihilation of material world and the material body. I wanted to check if you are all ready to do some homework of purport reading, then I can take some topics in reading, because I have to complete reading, so it becomes difficult for me to share some very important, valuable uh, topics because I'm so much pressed up with time. So it will because it will be very difficult. So if you are ready to do homework, then I will take some topic because I have many topics to discuss. So, and if how many of you are ready? I got only two S. Any no, you can tell me then. If you are not typing no, I consider it as yes. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I got one, two, three. you're okay, we'll just go on peacefully reading Prabhupada purport, little bit explanation, then I'm also okay with it. That is not a problem. But some per person they are little big, so I wanted to little skip and we can go for the next, so that I will. With some things are Prabhupada writes again and again. Of course, some are very important, but then there are very important things also. I don't want to say they are not important, but some points, we can elaborately discuss. So that is my only thing. We can have some discussions also if we, of course, you're already having 1 hour in the morning and 2 hours in the morning is little difficult. So anybody is okay with this reading, you can just type in the chat box, and then I will, if you say, if you don't say no, I'll consider it as yes. I'll give some homeworks to you, but only thing is you should do homework. That is the that is, then there are many things, because uh, I have some few things to share. Uh, I take Manasiksha Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday morning 6 to 7, for some group of brahmacharis, and Thursday, Friday, Saturday from 6 to 7 I take teenage boys and girls Bhagavad Gita. That is the morning. Both are in the morning only. So it is very interactive. So we have discussions and it becomes very nice. But here now it is just reading, so little tough. And with youth and children now, they ask many questions, so it is very satisfying because they have so many things. What happens is, after people cross 35, 40, they don't have much to ask. They are like, okay, because they think in the childhood there is so much excitement to learn and to know and to achieve, but that excitement goes away after 30, 40. For many people, they feel okay, no, they don't feel so much impetus, that excitement in life. So, but you, that's why it is good. If you want to always remaining, be with youth. They'll keep that energy all the time. So hope you are all agreeing with our plan. So I'll give some homework. What I'll do, so for today means, you will be having this whole chapter will be over for you. Then I'll promise to take some, like this topic I wanted to take more elaborately. How, by doing our, how to have, how to perform our activity nicely, being in whatever situation we are, how to remain happy, and why modern way of living is a tough situation. This is a very good perspective. I come to understand by hearing from my spiritual master. So I wanted to share with you. This is not my realization, but Maharaj realization, but I wanted to share. Maybe tomorrow I will, then of course not tomorrow, Monday I will share. If you are ready to do homework, that means we are ending 10th chapter today. So hopefully you are all with me. So I already skipped. We have we have how many shlokas in this? We have 36 shlokas in this. So 36 shlokas, we are in 23. So whatever we can do, we'll do today, and remaining all is homework. Then we are directly doing 11th. So at least I will read the prayers of the women of Hastinapur, and remaining where Lord goes through all these places and all that is described. So hopefully you are not minding. If anything is there, you can send message in the, you can directly send me message also. If you are not able to, please do the homework. Thanks. I'm hoping you are all agreeing with this. So, and I promise that we'll have nice topics if you do this. Here is the same personality of Godhead, whose transcendental form is experienced by the great devotees who are completely cleansed of material consciousness by dint of rigid devotional service and full control of life and the senses. And there is the only way to purify existence. Yeah, if you are having any teenage 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, Little above also is okay, not less than that. Above 9, any children, if they want to join, morning 6 to 7, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, we have Bhagavad Gita for teens. So, I will just read 2, 3 more, whichever purport I feel important, I'll do. Oh, dear friends, here is that very personality of Godhead, who activities and confidential pastimes are described in the confidential parts of the Vedic literature by his great devotees. It is he only who creates, maintains, and annihilates the material world and yet remains unaffected. I didn't understand, Mataji. Any other class for us? I take class. I didn't understand your question. Bhagavad Gita class link. Yes, I will post in the group. I'll just give me a second. I will just send it now. So I have posted in the group the link. You can take a photo or copy, whatever way you can. So this is where I take morning 6 to 7. I have Monday to Saturday all day classes. 3 days in Hindi Manasiksha, 3 days in English Bhagavad Gita. So Bhagavad Gita is very important. There are some very basic. I thought of sharing some of the very nice points from Bhagavad Gita also. Already we know, but there are many things which still we can learn. This is very helpful, and this is important also for us to learn some very important principles of Bhagavad Gita. I will try to share them also in our future classes. So here Prabhupada is writing, as stated in the Bhagavad Gita, all the Vedic literature are glorifying the great Lord Sri Krishna. Here it is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita also. Yeah, I take from morning classes, and then I take evening 6 to 7. I take Hindi Bhagavatam. Now we completed first canto. We are in second canto. This is the same link which I sent. I take Hindi Bhagavatam 6 to 7. Now we are going to start second canto from. Yeah, not always. I'll be able to complete my chanting. What happened is some of the parents were requesting that they wanted their children to learn Bhagavad Gita, and I didn't have time. They have holidays, and I'm not getting time any other time, because morning from 7:15 it starts our classes. It goes till 9:15, and after that I have. So then, yeah, I have. So then I thought this is the only time I'm getting 6 to 7. What I do, I give 6 to 7, and then I do my deity services when Proj is giving class. Then I sit for my class. We have separate WhatsApp group also for that. And evening 6 to 7, I have Hindi Bhagavatam class. Same group, same link. This is if somebody is in Hindi who cannot understand English, you can send them to this. Morning they cannot attend English classes, you can send them for evening Bhagavatam Hindi classes. Hindi is little simple people are there. We read one line of purport peacefully, and WhatsApp group also. Yeah, I will. You can send me message on my WhatsApp, bro. I'll add to the number whoever is there. Because I don't want to post in our Bhagavatam group. You just send personally. You all know my number, so I'll just write my number here. So this is my mobile number. You can send a message to me, whoever is interested, either for children or evening. So I'll add them in that group so they can. Hindi is a little simple, simple people. We have line to line simple discussions. I don't go much technical there because they're all Matajis mostly. Of course, my parents, my mother, sister, like that. The group is different there. So anyway, I just wanted to inform. So I'm not able to complete all my rounds before 6. That is honestly what happens is. I can do it. Sometimes it happens, but not all the time. Because the parents are requesting, it is holidays and children are available, please take. So then I decided that's the only time I get now. So 6 to 7 I do, and then we start deity services I do, and then Prabhuji's class, and then I sit for my class like that. So we will. I have how much time? Yeah, we have time. I will complete this chapter today. At least translations I'll read, and you have big homework. And I hope you have 2 more days. You'll complete it. You just take half an hour max. You'll be able to complete all the purports. As stated in Bhagavad Gita, all Vedic literatures are glorifying the greatness of Lord Sri Krishna. Here it is confirmed in Bhagavatam also. The Vedas are expanded by many branches and sub-branches by great devotees and empowered incarnations of the Lord like Vyasdev, Narada, Sukadeva Goswami, the Kumaras, Kapila, Prahalada, Janaka, Bhyali, and Yamaraj. But in the Srimad Bhagavatam, especially the confidential parts of his activities are described by confidential devotees, Sukadeva Goswami. In the Vedanta Sutra or Upanishads, there is only a hint of the confidential parts of his pastimes. This is very important for us to understand why Krishna's things, it is very, very personal. What we are hearing is very confidential part. Not everybody is interested. We are thinking, it is so open, it is so clear. It is not clear actually for many people. They cannot appreciate only. They'll not be able to understand and appreciate, and they feel offended if we tell such things also. And like that's what happened when Britishers, when they read about Krishna, they were actually very disciplined in their in man and woman relationships. And when they came, they are very orthodox people. So when they came to India, when they heard about Krishna, they felt it is immoral only, and they were convinced about it. Now for us, it is so easy. Krishna, God, now whatever is doing is right. For them, they cannot digest. Means that is certain type of mentality is there. So for jnanis, for them to accept a person is so difficult. Similarly, for Hermes and some people who are a moralist and all, for them Krishna's activity, they say God means he should be example only. He should be exemplary. They cannot accept these things. And to God as a human form for Abrahamic religion people, for them it is so difficult in this form, especially Krishna. So very, very rare souls. Whoever is sitting here in the class and hearing, they are very great souls who are sitting. We should really understand the value of devotees in that way. It is Vedas, Upanishads. Because I am from Sri Vaishnava family, I know people, they learn Vedas, they know Vedas, but they don't have any relation with Lord. No relation. They even do installation of deities. What to speak of other things? They install the deities, but not so much personal. They have their heart don't uh, feel for Lord so much. For them, Lord is only to help them to get their things. They don't want to do anything for Lord. They, even if they are doing something for Lord, they want something to Lord only. It's not personally they are feeling for him. There is no personal feeling only for Lord. Very unfortunate. We are very fortunate. Yeah, Manushanam Sastri. We are very fortunate. Prabhupada's mercy. Nirvishesha Shunyavada is even within us also. More and more we start developing relation with Krishna, appreciate. We appreciate devotees. More and more we can see Krishna as a person. That is the secret. We have to develop a relation with devotees. We should feel personal with devotees. Heart. For me, I was so much of hard-hearted, means Jnani type. Slowly I'm understanding this will not work. Means there is a pride. No, I am not attached. I am detached from all these things. Family life, no. I can proudly tell. I never stayed in my house more than after joining ashram. I hardly went to my house. For 2 years, initially 2 years I didn't go only. Of course I went, and after that 2 years I didn't go, and I was very proud of that. But that is not bhakti. That is the point. Slowly I'm understanding. That's all jnana only. And now also when I go home, for me I don't like. I overnight, one day only I stayed. My parents stay in Hyderabad, I stay in Hyderabad. Only one time I stayed overnight. Otherwise I go morning, evening. But that's all jnana only. That is not at all bhakti. That type of, it's, there is detachment, but that is not, that is hard hearted. Bhakti means soft heartedness. So slowly I'm understanding where it is going wrong. And we have nice relation with devotees. Even with parents also we should have very good relation. This is not against bhakti. And now Balram Shitpur directly went and staying with parents and nicely taking care of them. And you can see his realizations, his devotion. There's no, this is not actually any hindrance. If you are in proper relation with family and all, it's not hindrance. Only hindrance is when they don't allow you to do sadhana. That is hindrance. Relation is not. They should. We should have proper sadhana and have good relationship. Then what happens? We should become good brother, good sister, good husband, good wife, good mother, good father, good friend. Then that is actually devotee, means he is proper in all respects. It's not that we just give up something. It will not work like that. It's a very, that means organically we grow. By deleting something, it's not going to delete from our samskaras. No, that will remain. It will remain incomplete. So better to complete. Like why Yadu, he was told, "Are you take up the old age of Pururava?" He said, "No. Let me fulfill all my desires so that Krishna will appear in my." What does it mean? That we have certain requirements. We have to properly, in a very cautiously, we have to clear them and get out of it. So by doing it in a proper way and doing proper sadhana, we can get out of it. Otherwise, it is not going to work. People, they go to Mayapur, live with their family. If they did not do it properly, then it is not going to work in Mayapur also. You will not be able to do proper sadhana. But they have done it properly. Prabhupada did very nicely. It was pakka business. Everything he was doing so nicely. It didn't work out. But because Prabhupada did it nicely, he could easily come. Of course, he's setting example for us. But that's how the system is. Karma yoga is like that. But even bhakti also, not that I'll not follow any rules, I'll remain a rascal. It's not like that. We follow it so nicely. And for me, simple things I am understanding. I told you, mango so much. I always longed for mango so much. But when I did, every year I feel so much greed. I was thinking, how can I give up my greed for mango? But this time, when I did it so nicely, nicely you do it, cut, make juice, offer it to Krishna, and nice prayerfully you take. That's all. Your greed is evaporated. So, like that, we have some tendencies, we have desires, but do it very proper, and be proper husband, wife, child, develop a good, try to do it properly, do along with sadhana, we will come out of that entanglement. That is what actually need to happen. See what is happening now, we ultimately have to give up our dependence on all these things. We have to give up our dependence. That is very painful, very painful to give up dependence. We are, any environment we kept, we get conditioned to that environment. We think, yeah, nice, I have my family, this, that. Now we say, okay, get out. How can how can I get out from this situation? We get so much condition because we are so much always depending on them. But if we are doing it properly and taking shelter of sadhana, then our dependence on these things will reduce. Slowly we will become free from these things. This is how it works. It is not by any magic. It is not by any any jadoo tona. No. It is our sincere sadhana with proper way doing the activity. Both are very important. We have to do it properly. We have to do it proper sadhana. And for that, now we have to be very conscious. To be conscious, we have to hear. That's all. So we sincerely hear, become more and more conscious about it, and do it. Like unconsciously we do anything, it becomes our karma. If you do the same activity consciously, no karma. This is the formula. That's why this pranayama, why it helps? It makes a person conscious. Why vipassana? Vipassana makes a person conscious. Monday I can take on this. This is only uh, uh, third chapter of Bhagavad Gita. So this is not so. This is not very far. It is third, fourth, fifth chapter, third and fifth chapter of Bhagavad Gita only. But if you understand it properly, it will definitely help. Okay, I'll not take so much on this. Just at least read the translations. Hopefully, you're doing your homework. Then I'll take these topics on Monday. Wherever there are kings and administrators living like animals in the lowest mode of existence, the Lord in his transcendental form manifests his supreme power. The truth positive shows special mercy to the faithful, performs wonderful activities, and manifests various transcendental forms as is necessary in different periods and ages. Question is, but if we every time ignore others' behavior and try to be humble, the family must also take advantage of our simplicity. We don't ignore other behavior. We respond it properly. Say if somebody is behaving badly with us, he did some activity, we have to go and clarify with him. I feel, why are you angry with me? Why you behaved in this way? You have any problem with me? Like somebody shouted on you, they became irritated. Why are you doing like that? We have to go and clarify with them only. What activity of mine is making you irritated? Why are you behaving like this? Like suddenly, if wife or husband they become very emotional and they are shouting, we say, wait a minute, don't become so emotional. You tell me exactly what is the problem. Arey, why did you purchase this? Why did you purchase this? You always waste money. You always waste time. You are never listen this. Or this, never that. When they are in emotional state, don't talk. When they become normal, go and clarify with them. That why did you become so much angry? Because it is wasting time or wasting money. And you clarify your position. If you learn to communicate nicely, then nobody can exploit. Exploitation happens when you cannot communicate. This is actually the problem. So problem is exploitation is we are not able to communicate. We are very conscious now. We'll be able to communicate. Like now, somebody is asking question after question after question. He's not allowing our class to happen. I'll communicate with them. Proji, yes, I appreciate you're very nice. You're enthusiastic. You're asking questions. But what I want is that can we have uh, can we have uh, uh, our discussion personally? So I communicated with him. So then. Then what happens is they will be able to they will not mind because we are communicating. So this is actually the system. I'm getting a call. I just sent them. They want to join me in a meeting. I said I'll do it later. So we communicate. No, I'm telling. See, my time is available this much. I can do this much. I can do this much. We have to tell our strengths and weakness very clearly. That is also communication. If somebody says you don't do this, you don't do this, you don't do this, you tell yes, I cannot do certain things, but I can do these things. In this area, I will do it. In this area, I cannot do it. So for this, I am sorry. So communicate nicely, you will not get exploited. If say somebody tells me to manage, if I am not able to manage, I will tell them. See, you tell me to give class, I will give class. But you tell me to manage, I cannot do. This is not my strength. Even if I do, I will do it not good. Everybody in the town will be frustrated. We have to clarify. This is no problem. There is nobody, you only do. Then we do it. If you don't communicate, then only exploitation. It is clear? Means I am just giving a general answer, but it is applicable. I am giving a universal principles. It is applicable everywhere. If you in your specific situation, you can try to see how you can communicate with the people whom you are dealing. If they are behaving in a particular way, you clarify what you are feeling about their behavior also. That is also not a problem. You have to go and tell, I think you felt irritated because of my behavior. I felt you are concerned with my health. I think you are concerned because sometimes they are concerned with your health. They say you don't take care of this. I understand your concern with my health. I think your concern with children's education. I think so. You have to clarify what you are thinking about them also. Then also it is easy. Even though for them it is difficult to digest, but they cannot exploit you. That will help. So exploit, somebody is getting exploited means it is the person's fault who is getting exploited in one way also. It's not just the person who is exploiting this person also, because he is not able to communicate properly. Of course, there are many details. Every situation will be different answer, but this is in general given because I don't know the specific situation. So if somebody is getting physically beating and all such situations, there are different answers. But I'm just simple situations I'm telling. So hope it is answering. I am skipping very fearfully. I'm skipping some of the purports. I don't want to do this, but because some of the discussions are taking time, so hope you'll not mind. I am fearfully doing it, hoping that you are all reading. You are all going to read the purports. Now, this is a very this is a very nice look. Aho alam slagyatamam yadokulam. Aho alam punyatamam adorvanam. Edesha pumsam rishabha sriyapati swajanmanam chankramani na chati chanch. This says, oh, how supremely glorified is the dynasty of King of Yadu. But they didn't stop there. Because, and how virtuous is the land of Mathura. Mathura here means it is Vrindavan. Aho alam slagyatamam madhurvanam. Madhurvanam is Vrindavan. So they're always in this mood. Yet the supreme leader of all living beings, the husband of goddess of fortune, has taken his birth and wandered in his childhood. So we have a few more minutes. So here 34. So yes, I'll just read this one purport. This is very nice. In the Bhagavad Gita, the Supreme Personality of God, Sri Krishna, has expressly given a description of his transcendental appearance, disappearance, and activities. Lord appears in a particular family or place by his inconceivable potency. It does not take his birth as a conditioned soul's quit his body and accept another body. His birth is like the appearance and disappearance of the sun. The sun arises on the eastern horizon, but that does not mean that the eastern horizon is the parent of the sun. The sun is existent in every part of the solar system, but he becomes visible at a scheduled time and also becomes invisible at another scheduled time. Similarly, the Lord appears in this universe like the sun and again leaves our sight at another time. His existence at all times and at every place, but by his causeless mercy, when he appears before us, he takes it for granted. We take it for granted that he has taken his birth. Anyone who can understand this truth in terms of the statements of revealed scriptures certainly becomes liberated from just after quitting the present birth. Liberation is obtained after many births and after great endeavor in patience and perseverance, in knowledge and renunciation. But simply by knowing so for liberation, all these things are needed. So you need to have great endeavor, patience, perseverance, knowledge, and renunciation. But simply by knowing in truth about the Lord's transcendental birth and activities, one can get liberation at once. We don't want liberation. Liberation is Kaivalya Naraka, it's punishment only. That is the verdict of Bhagavad Gita. But those who are in darkness of ignorance conclude that the Lord's birth and activity in the material world are simply to those of the ordinary living beings. Such imperfect conclusions cannot give anyone liberation. His birth, therefore, in the family of King Yadu as the son of King Vasudeva and his transfer into the family of Nanda Maharaj in the land of Mathura are all transcendental arrangements made by the internal potency of the Lord. Very simple. Why we have to do all this hearing and all these things? We have faith on the purity and integrity of our acharyas. That is what makes us go ahead in whatever we are doing. Is whatever Prabhupada can never speak lies, because such a great person, such a pure person, such a compassionate person, why will he take, why will he cheat? Because of his person, whatever he's telling is right for us. So that makes us very easy to go ahead in our path. They're so intelligent people, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Even Britishers have to make a railway track in till Bhaktivinoda Thakur's house. Such an intelligent person, how can he be so sentimental and write some things? No, he is not sentimental. He is in a transcendental state. We want to attain that state. That's why we follow Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur time, Subhash Chandra Bose comes and tells to Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, you have left no intelligent people for them. What he's telling, you have left no intelligent people for Gandhi's movement. All intelligent people are your disciples. That's what Subhash Chandra Bose acknowledged Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur. The point is how great these persons are. So we just have to have that faith. That is what for me very easy to go ahead. This is, I cannot verify all these things, but I can have faith on Prabhupada. That's the point. The fortunes of the Edu dynasty and that of the inhabitants of land of Mathura cannot materially estimated. If simply by knowing the transcendental nature of birth and activities of Lord one can get liberation easily, we can just imagine what is in store for those who actually enjoy the company of Lord in person as a family members or as a neighbor. All those who are fortunate enough to associate with the Lord, the husband of goddess of fortune, certainly obtain something more and more, what is known as liberation. Therefore, rightly, the dynasty and the land are both even glorious by the ever glorious by the grace of Lord. So this is undoubtedly it is wonderful that Dwarka had defeated the glories of the heavenly planets and have enhanced the celebrity of the earth. The inhabitants of Dwarka are always seeing the souls of all, always seeing the soul of all living beings, Krishna in his loving features. He glanced at them and favors them with sweet smiles. So these are their place. Oh friend, just think of his wives. Oh, yeah. This is also very nice. Oh, friend, just now women, they will compare with other women. So here we see the glorification of women of Hastinapura are in relation with women of Dwarka and women of Vrindavan, Gopis of Vrindavan. So that's what is happening. So just see of his wives whose hands he has accepted. How much, how they must have. Now Bhishma is comparing with whom? He's comparing with another warrior Arjuna. When it comes to when they compare, so everybody has their own people whom they can compare and follow them. So who, how they must have undergone vows, baths, fire sacrifices, and perfect worship of Lord of the universe to constantly relish now the nectar from his lips by kissing. The damsels of Brajabhumi would often faint just by expecting such favors. So these purports are nice. Please read. We'll see. I'll just read the translations, and if we have time, I will. I think we don't have time. I'll just read the translation. The children of those ladies are Pradyumna, Samba, Amba, etc. The ladies like Rukmini, Satyabhama, Jamba were forcefully taken away by him for their from their Swayamvara ceremonies after he defeated many powerful kings headed by Shishupala. And other ladies were also forcefully taken away by him after he killed Bhanasura and thousands of his assistants. All these ladies are glorious. So ladies are comparing with ladies. And then all these women auspiciously glorified their lives despite their being without individuality and without purity. Their husbands, the lotus-eyed personality of Godhead, never left them alone at home. He always pleased their hearts by making valuable presentations. So that is their aspiration. So while the ladies of this capital stood up greeting him and talked in this way, the Lord smilingly accepted their good feelings and casting the grace of his glance over them, he departed from the city. Maharaj Yudhishthir, along with although no one's enemy, engaged four divisions of defense horse, elephant, chariot, and army to accompany Lord Krishna, the enemy of the Asuras, the demons. The Maharaj did this because of the enemy and also out of affection for the Lord. So he wanted to protect the Lord. Of course, Lord don't need it, but it is out of his love. And then out of profound affection for Lord Krishna, the Pandavas who were of the Kuru dynasty accompanied him a considerable distance to see him off. They were overwhelmed with the thought of future separation. The Lord, however, persuaded them to return home, and he proceeded towards Dwarka with his dear companions. O Saunaka, the Lord then proceeded towards Kurjangala, Panchala, Shuvura, Sena, the land of the banks on the river Yamuna, Bhadravati, Kurukshetra, Matsya, Saraswati, the province of the deserts of the land of uh, scanty water. After crossing these provinces, he gradually reached the Suvara, Suvira, Abhira province. Then west of there reached Dwarka at last. This is last. On his journey through these provinces, he was welcomed, worshipped, and given various presentations. In the evening, in all places, Lord suspended his journey to perform evening rites. Thus, this was regularly observed after sunset. Yes. So thank you all very much. Hope you will complete the purports. We will meet at we'll meet on Monday. I will try to start 11th chapter with some important insights. Hare Krishna.